Alright. Um, Seems I have a lot of static, and I don't know what's causing it. I have ungodly amount of static, don't know what's causing it, and I'm just lost. My mic sucks, essentially. Everything fucking sucks. I suck, everything suck. And I don't know what to do. So here I am once again, testing out my mic. Because it's fucked up. And I don't know how to fix it. So yeah, here I am trying this one more time. And syphilis, phosphate, Porygon Z, Blastoise, Per Ugly, Shedinja, Whisper, Exploud, Rayquaza, Kyogre, Gordon, Groudon, I think it's called Groudon. Latias. What else is there? Basically, I'm just trying to see if the settings for this is acceptable. So yeah, maybe it's this, maybe it's not. I don't know. I have nothing to do. I could browse YouTube, but check out the leaks. It's easy. See what's happening. Yep, a little bit. Hoyo plays Endless Zone 0 2.7 larger background animation. What if I could make this my wallpaper? What's the deal with animated wallpaper? Never had one. My current wallpaper is the default that came with the PC. So, and it's random. Every now and then I get some random background. Right now it's nothing. Hmm. Right now it's nothing. I wonder how long it's been like that. I never really paid attention to it before. You really care. Oh, there's a new character drip market for Woowa. Withering Waves. Guess I have to pick new. What's her name? Deepa? That'd be too on the nose, I guess. Can't tell your elements. But that's so Woowa works. They just show you the character. Say, hey, look at this character. We won't tell you shit about her. And don't assume anything because there's no water element in this game. There's Glacio, but there's nothing Glacio about this character. Cantarella, who uses jellyfish, is a Havoc character, so she could be Havoc as well. So there's some pinkishness to her that could imply Havoc. Do not watch, do not listen, do not commit to memory. Some things are best left unknown. 5-star. I don't think Woowa does 5 stars though. Is it S rank? What does Woowa do? Or is it 5 stars? I forgot. But there's this bigger version of her hiding. I'm guessing some kind of multiple personality, and her arms are blue, whereas the girl here has red gloves. And I guess her hands also have some kind of astral, like some kind of, I don't know what to describe that though, like Skirk's hand. 5 minutes ago, yeah. I wonder if ZZZ is gonna drop theirs. So ZZZ has not revealed their second character for 2.8. Actually, have they revealed anything? No, they haven't. Pro Mia is not revealed. Is Pro Mia able? No, she isn't. No, she isn't. She's in the beta. Usually once the beta starts, is when they start revealing the character who's in the beta as a drip market. So the beta started. Pro Mia is in the beta. And again, Pro Mia is killing people. Like, the ZZZ developers pretty much went to Hoyo and said, hey man, we need to make this game darker. Makes me wonder, like, how is it being marketed to China? Like, like, there was a lot of blood in this patch. Dead people too, so I'm very curious to see how if that is kept the same in the Chinese version. So story-wise, anyway, I've said before that 2.0 was rough, and while everything was recently improved, that initial stance hasn't changed. I said I wanted to talk about why everything about is not only evidence the story main problems are fixed, but highlights it. Well, so the problem with Wi-Fi Peninsula was execution. They basically had us go to a place to train, but never really showed us training. And then here, 2. What's this? We basically left. I don't know why we left. I think the story explained that we're finished training, that we have mastered whatever Yishuan was trying to teach us. So basically, the way so never really expanded on the training. They just show, oh, we could warp reality, but why is this a technique from Wi-Fi? Is this not our ability? Because it seemed like no one else could warp reality like we can. Which goes back to that maze thing, the co-op event, which I think was a it was a warp environment, which probably ties back to our own ability to warp reality. But he doesn't really explain that we're the one warping. It makes it seem like it was a Wi-Fi what's it called again? Yongkui Summit ability that we learned from Yishuan, instead of it being something that we're training, we ourselves possess. So anyway, so basically they didn't really expand on that story, which was the main reason we went to go train with her. They didn't the story. What else was the issue? They really didn't do much with the fiend, because they basically set up the fiend. Essentially everything with Isolda felt rushed. That's kind of what it is. Like, Isolda herself was fine, but when it came to the feed, didn't really understand. When it came to her initial appearance as the priest, didn't really understand. I think they really explain why she waited this long, because she clearly had a fuck ton of ability. Zero was frankly underwhelming in how she left. Like, she left without us being there. And we don't really know where or what. Alright, how do I describe it? So basically, Sarah became one with the creator. We don't really know what that means. The best course I could think of is a show called Fire Force, where there is this creator and that want all humans to essentially become one, similar to Honkai, not Honkai, what's it called, Evangelion Impact, where everything just melt together while become one sentient being. So it seemed like that's what happened to Sarah. But Sarah's story is such a strange one. I guess we'll learn more about her, because what happened to Sarah, and that the community is like, oh, Sarah is wasted, but they don't really understand what happened to her. Sarah was not wasted. Sarah is a simple person. Similar to Bringer, like, these are not wasted characters. It's just a situation that they're in is way beyond their pay grade. They're simply people who got caught up in a bigger conspiracy involving the creator, in that the creator somehow manipulated these people. and they're simply trying to find their purpose. Like Bringer was killed. Oh, basically Bringer and Sarah were abandoned, or they managed to survive. Bringer and Sarah are basically people who were caught up in the hollow and managed to leave after seemingly dying. Bringer came back, and both of them came back changed. Sarah came back trying to find her identity, explain who she is. No one had any evidence of where she came from or who she is. And then she latched on to what I think memory she had, which was the creator. And that motivated her entire actions from there forth. Man, when she first got introduced, she was wearing like a pencil skirt. Like this girl was hot. But then she started wearing a pantsuit. Not as hot. It was okay, but her in the pencil skirt being the secretary for Perlman, oh my god. But yeah, so basically, in that regards, Sarah was merely a person simply acting on instincts to reunite with the creator, to serve the creator, I should say. But other than that, she wasn't a major player. She wasn't really anybody other than somebody who went into Hollow. The Seamer squad got wiped out. She managed to survive, seemingly through the help of the creator. He implanted some kind of memory. He's doing something to these people, because the same thing happened to Bringer. I think Bringer, because Bringer was a good person based, I think, I didn't really read into his lore, but I think he was a good person. And the story was that he rescued Yuan when she was in the Hollow. So he sacrificed himself, but again, so that everyone thought he died. Turns out he didn't die, he came back, and once again, just like Sarah, he was his view on the world changed. I think he talked about it with Sarah right before he became Bringer the monster. Before he became monsterized, he talked about it. How once he came out the hollow, he started seeing things differently, and that's why he started serving the creator. So a lot of these stories pretty much revolved around the creator saving these people, and then somehow they get manipulated. So there's not really much to tell about this story other than what the creator himself wants, because he's the one turning what seemed to be good people into his servants. So it's not really much. So while people might feel Sarah got underutilized, she didn't really get underutilized. It's the sub for a bigger picture, and that's kind of the issue with ZZZ. They don't understand how gacha players work. They're not looking for long-term storytelling, and that's kind of seemed to be the case with ZZZ, because now we're seeing even bigger players, but these bigger players have been there since the beginning of 1.4. We have started seeing them, because we saw one of the chicks in this recent ZZZ reveal, where they're basically showing tops. We've seen two of the characters prior, but they had such small roles in the game that you didn't really you wouldn't think much of them. But now we see that these were the major players, at least for now, in the world of ZZZ, and they've been there since a long time. 1.4, 1.7, these characters have been there, so it's kind of on Hoyo, where it's kind of on Hoyo, not understanding how gacha brain work, that we don't really care about the future. We live in it now. So unless you tell us outright that these characters are more important than they seem, or you basically tell us that Sarah, you show us like a preview of what Sarah's up to, which probably nothing. She's just a part of the creator at this point. And there was a lot more comedy. I don't think there was any comedy in this patch. Well, there were some moments with Cecilia. Alright, so what is this? Well, I'm sure the reasons are numerous. I want to focus on lack of connectivity. Back in 1 point, each chapter was bonded to others either by characters like Pearl Man or cutting heroes or main conflicts. Version 2 chapters, on the other hand, were isolated. They weren't really isolated. Isolde showed up, Alice showed up in 2.0. Or was it 2.1? Isolde showed up, and then we got Isolde's conclusion. Because Isolde was popping up. It's just that we had high expectation for the Exaltus, and then yeah, it didn't really go anywhere. Because for what's supposed to be this major thing with Exaltus, it doesn't seem well funded. Like, how do they all have the outfits, the suits, and are all this so organized? But and they look like stereotypical bad, like Team Rocket, where they have outfits. But you look at Isolde, and she doesn't seem like she has any kind of like outreach, like reach in the community. Like, she just pretty much showed up to be like a one-off villain when she was the major, supposed to be the major villains for the villain for the region. But of course, her motivation wasn't to be the villain of the region. But the level of influence she had and how much soldiers and minions she had, like real soldiers, not the ghost thing that she brought back or the ethereal she brought back, but the actual guys in glasses and white suits. Like, she had a ton of them. If she had that many people, like she must have some kind of like huge access to wealth to be able to finance this kind of project. But from the looks of it, and then Bringer was following her, Zero was following her, like all these like people with access to very high ranking jobs were following her. But you go in there, you beat her ass, then that's the end of the Exaltus. They don't matter. It was definitely underwhelming. Because it was built, basically the Exaltis felt huge once you got the Wi-Fi and they felt huge and massive, and the influence felt so like it touched everything. That's how it felt. And we're finding out that's not really the Exaltis that are like that. It's Tops. And then we have characters like Promia who's going to be playable. So, and then you have Krampus with this. I don't really get what happened to Bonway. Like, why is Bonway a part of Krampus? Like, Krampus is so sketchy and evil, yet Bonway is part of it. Like, they didn't show him joining because you're asked to kill people in Krampus. And Bonway doesn't seem like that kind of person. But anyway, CEO, Defense Force Agent, and no, what was this? We learned a lot about her. She was ultimate. Lead to his rest, however, because contrary to Solo, official since 2.1, and while we learned a lot about her, she was just ultimate Defense Force Agent by the end of that. No more questions, no more need for her. Patch 2.2 reveals the truth. While it was generally a good story, her being overseer meant nothing because she didn't do anything significant. Our last stint as overseer, if say we met Isolde in 2.0, did more actively to even had reveal who until the I think Makarov was the priest that Isolde was disguised as. That's her name why she's disguised. You get a point. It's most likely why I think Isolde is so popular. She was given more to breed and develop her spot. She's popular because she's hot. Same reason Sarah is popular. Because Bringer falls under the same situation as Isolde. I remember what Isolde's story is. I think it was also where she was the last survivor. And I think a lot of these characters' story is just that the difference between Isolde, Sarah, and Bringer is that she was given more power than Data. And she doesn't seem like she even cared about it. It's not like she didn't seem. She definitely didn't give a fuck about the creator, unlike Bringer and Sarah, whose goal was to serve the creator. Isolde only wanted revenge. So it's very interesting. Maybe that's why she got more power from the creator. And this is on Hoyo, because Hoyo doesn't really give a clue about what the creator's up to even like make any kind of connection. And again, like this story is so similar to Fire Force in that way. Like Fire Force also has the same thing. Like right now, all we know, for a long time, all we knew about pillars was that they had more power than everybody else. And there were 8 pillars, and these people harness like flames and abilities way beyond anyone else could achieve. And they were being hunted by the White Claw Clad clan or something. The White Clad. I think that's what they're called in Fire Force, but it's very similar in the concept. You have Void Hunters, pillars. Say there's 8 pillars, there's 7 Void Hunters. And maybe if you get all the Void Hunters weapons, you could resurrect the creator, because the seed might create the weapons. Not much like the pillars are connected to the god, or I don't know if do they call it the creator in Fire Force? But it's a similar situation. But yeah, Isolde as a bad guy wasn't really a thing. It wasn't really something like it was hyped up too much, and then it was underserved, essentially. That it made it the priests or Makarov seem like just a big bad, when in actuality it wasn't that big a deal. But the organization looks so big and so massive and so influential. And then find out with just a girl looking for revenge and didn't really care about the creator. Like you see, like when she brought back the fiend went nowhere. Like it would have been cool if she had like an army of fiends at the end of the fight for when we were fighting her, or she split herself into two and she became the Defiler and the priest. But no, they gave her 2 different forms. They gave her the priest and the Defiler, and she created the fiend. No, for what? I guess if maybe it was so she could have like a way to bring back her soldiers by I don't know, by using memories. I don't know. I don't know what the whole point was. And contrast with me, Isolde, overseers. Now you get the points. Most likely why I think Isolde, she's given room to breathe. Not really. The yokai is not interesting, but yokai ties into the fairy, so that's it. So his influence could last forever. In one way or another, these names are more connected to each other somehow. Yokai is connected to Lockspring, which is connected to Sunbringer, but Flokai is also connected to Fairy, which is connected to Sunbringer, which is connected to Vascafora, which seems to be the origin place of Ramo. This person forget that Ramo is actually spelled with an A and not an O. As we learn more about one thing, the better our insight into the rest becomes. But what is all means is the level of foreshadowing we haven't seen. We have seen it. We have seen the foreshadowing. I was just talking about tops. The tops agents, or the tops head, have been foreshadowed since 1.4 and 1.7, including the main character in both yokai. And yokai has been foreshadowed way since the beginning of the game. She's not hiding it. I didn't know Jifufu and Alice went to the same school. But characters cross interacting. Well, we did have a. It was a major cross interaction, but we did have some interactions with Bonway. Like we went to that trip with Bonway, Minato, and we ran into Lucia. We saved the Dari. each one showed up. So we basically had the story very contained. But yeah, this person like I don't understand what I mean by foreshadowing here. Because Sunbringer and Yokai's always been foreshadowed. So I recently come back to ZZ, and after learning how different characters, teams, and things, I'm kind of leaning towards the idea of mono team. They just look easiest to play out. Oh man, this doesn't make any sense because that's not how the game works. The game doesn't work by mono. The reason why they call mono ice is because you want to maintain freeze. There's no other thing that's mono. If it's mono, there's just no other thing that is intended to be mono because it doesn't matter unless a character wants as much of a reaction as possible or just doesn't care about disorder. Well, there is mono fizz, but you want M2 Jane and I don't know if you need M2 Alice, but you do want M2 Jane. And then you get Assault, because Jane M2 is amplifying Assault like he's crazy. What is this about the Xbox? If I delete ZZ on my Xbox, so do I lose what? Do I lose my Xbox account? What the hell is that? If you delete a game, why would you lose it? I don't know, they probably mean your ZZZ account or something, I don't know. I'm kind of leaning towards the idea of mono team. They just look the easiest to play out. Then you said this doesn't make this. I can't believe this got upvoted. There is no such thing as a mono team other than mono ice because again you want to spam freeze. DPS max kind of stuck between whether I want to do mono shock or mono ice still. Yeah, what is even mono shock? I guess Yanagi would be mono shock with hmm. I guess you could go Minami. But then you just limit. You're not using Yuzuha. You're not using Astra. You're not using anything to buff besides Rina. Rina, the only thing that works in mono shot. But then, who's the third slot? I don't think Soldier Zero. Oh, this person just knew that. Why the own Soldier Zero? The ton of Polychromes and. So this person wrote out this entire thing. Okay, what is this? Person called him a bitch. So how does the community react to this? One ice requires strict resource management to control the stun time. Yeah, so that's also funny because this person was like the easiest to play is mono ice. It's like, nope, no, it's not. So this person clearly didn't do any research. If they think it, mono teams are the easiest. And even then, there's no such thing as a mono team besides mono ice and mono fizz. But no one really calls it mono fizz because it's a soul team. And also there is Yixing Wang. And again, mono doesn't mean anything because Suna, Dali, Dailin, and Yixing Wang are all fizz. Doesn't mean that you want to call them mono fizz. Speaking, I don't really know if the main character will be playable. F2P 14. What time is it? I don't know if Honkai Star Rail's gonna have any leaks up. Maybe next week we get this Honkai Star Rail leaks. ZZZ leaks come out whenever. There's no pattern to ZZZ leaks that just show up. Daybreak, Squadron, Bloody Blooms, a lot of spoilers, but I'm Pearl Precious leaving my head rent free. Like I've seen her before though. Is it like Komi? I don't know. Maybe she look like a Genshin NPC or something. Man, D Herta. D garbage. Is sub DPS being lower not because he's bad, but because he needs to sub DPS for ratio and facial extra? Yeah, that's me rolling. I can understand the sentiment of a kid why he's trying to help existing follow-up care, but when ratio needs a Fedora flare, ratio is not for behind. They should have made Ash feel better. Has it been great for a while? Whole archetype needs help. Asheville could have landed better to help with the archetype. This is like dot if I didn't drop the Kafka didn't have no flare. I feel a problem. As your cycle Legos Super A with E0 ratio like code. What the fuck? That is so insane. It's better than Evernight. That's better than every fucking team. And the character that needs a fucking buff is D Herta. She's garbage. She's D garbage. Bro, like people could say Yoimiya. No one gets the fucking Yoimiya treatment. It's just thing. It's either the character's just not right for the fucking current meta. That's all there is to it. If he was strong as fuck, everyone would pull. Just like most people got Ewa and Triby. Or a good chunk of people got Triby because, she came right before Caster Reese, but who gives a shit? At the end of the day, what is this? These discussions? Why am I seeing pictures? Ooh, this one blew up, huh? The fact that your engine makes her stronger. Oh my god. Now, should engines be 100%? Fuck yes. Like, I think the character ban should be 75-25 and the freaking weapon ban should be 100%. Anyway, so basically there's this Doom poster. Oh, this is Doom poster. This person, like, if you want to make a character stronger, make them stronger. Pull Mindscape, pull their freaking engine. Ding Gong just so happens to have a really good engine that makes her way stronger than anything else. But it doesn't undermine the fact that she is going to be able to clear and she is going to provide you the good result. If you want to get the even better result, much like with Mindscapes or anything else, you could get her fucking engine. And that's all there is to it. I would understand if she's just going to clear before. But yeah, overall, the engine is really fucking good. Because it could turn a mid team into a decent team. So that is definitely a plus for the engine. But it's just pay to win, just like a Mindscapes and everything else. You can my M2 freaking Miyabi is a freaking pay to win, no different than me getting non-gongs freaking engine. Cause at the end of the day, it's just yes, vertical investment make your character last longer. Shocking. It just so happened that non-gong's vertical investment to turn a good character into a I guess the word they're using is broken character. I don't really see her as broken, but she's good. Waste 160 polls. Pulling something you don't need. To do content that you don't want to do. Like the most things I hate when it comes to engines, well, for me it's mostly Mindscape that I fucking hate. Because Yuzuha has it. Who else has it? I think Suna has it. Yuzuha has it. Suna has it. Who else has it? Basically, it's anyone where their rotation becomes smoother with their M1s. Whereas just simply, oh, with my M1 now, I just get to cast my skill at the first turn. The Yuzuha doesn't have enough to skill and does the assault on the first turn. She has it in her. Shiyu, but not in deadly. Like, in Shiyu, you start off with more energy. You just cast a skill, but then Hoyo's like, hey man, instead of starting off your rotation properly in deadly, how about you pull that M1 so now you could have enough energy to immediately cast your skill and start the rotation. And that's kind of my issue with it. Um, Hoyo. Anything that make your character smoother, and I guess in the case for Nangong, it's also anything that makes her um like she's building the stacks faster. I think with her engine she builds stacks faster for Miyabi. So the engine is a but yeah, that also brings back the fact that I was trying her in the story and I really don't know how to play her, so I will acknowledge she's a strong character, but at a certain point we just have to, understand that we can't keep up with every character that's considered strong or broken. Eventually we just have to take a knee. Maybe I need to buy more of these. Holy shit, I haven't done the thing yet. There is a lot of content for me to do. I haven't done this week thing. But I have done the story, so fuck. Yeah, it feels like everything is piling on now. Cause HSR just had his update. And I didn't really have to focus on Divergent Universe for the longest time. But now, Divergent Universe has been resetted. And Hoyo wanted to grind it, so that's cute. But yeah, that's something I do later for Divergent. Mm, what else is there? There's my cruise. Hey, somebody left, I figured. Was it Jamie? No, it wasn't Jamie. It was Luna Lux, huh? Makes sense. Cruise really don't mean anything. Samus Aran. Cruise don't mean a fuck. Dan. Time to save. I have control executing mission. Doesn't play the end game at all. Haramasa's wife. Tweet one Lycan's true toy. What else is there? Bang Bonger. Bunger. DJ Khaled. She's zenless on my zone until I zero. Cool. Mm-hmm. Zenless on their zone until he's zero. These are some degenerate hours, man. She's zenless on my zone till I zero. What is this? Somebody else has this? This game is a cake factory. I hope Tyrion's alpha. Uh, rat, rat, rat. I think this person likes rats. I'll say that's very interesting. Jimmy's pretty much walked. Um, Jimmy's pretty much gone at this point. So Mustang is gone as well. So Mustang is gone. These guys, Sunday I'll decide. Sunday I'll decide. Why Sunday? Because essentially what will happen is that means these people pretty much skipped out the entire week. I can only get upset if the character can't clear. If you get the character and they can't clear with a decent team without their engine, that's when I'm upset. But if they can clear, I don't give a fuck. If the engine is broken, same way I don't give a fuck if their mindscapes are broken.